What is going on, everybody? We are back with another tutorial video. I know it's been a while. I just started school again, and that pretty much takes up my whole day. So it's about 6:30 or 7 when I'm starting this, so it's not late, but you know what I'm getting at. Today we're going to throw back to one of my childhood favorites. We're going to be doing banana bread. We've got some quality ingredients and something kind of out of the normal, ordinary spectrum with banana bread. We're going to be roasting our bananas and using mascarpone cheese. We will also be making a compound butter and a caramel dome. And we're going to be using some roasted walnuts, and we'll finish with some edible flowers. So this could be a dish you use to impress some guests you have over, your date, if you're trying to get some action, you know. But yeah, without further ado, let's start our process. Alright everybody, we're going to get started with our first step. And in this banana bread, we are going to be using 4 bananas. And we're going to do something a little different. We are going to actually roast our bananas. As you can see, usually when you make banana bread, you'd want bananas that are past ripe and kind of brown and speckled. But I do not have that, and my original plan was already to roast these bananas. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take the skin off, cut them probably into inch sections, put them on this baking sheet that I've got with saran or tinfoil on it, some olive oil, and we're going to roast them at about 450 degrees until they have caramelized. So let's do that right now. So we have got our bananas cut up into these inch cubes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my baking sheet. I'm going to transfer my bananas to my baking. So now that we have got our bananas cut up into these 1 inch sections, I'm going to take some olive oil here. I'm just going to do a drizzle like so. That is perfect. Just going to toss these bad boys so they're evenly coated is the best you can do. Alright, so our next step is we're going to put them in the oven at 450 for about 10 minutes, I'd say. Alright everyone, we have got our bananas cut on this cookie sheet. So our next step is we're going to put them in the oven. I've got it set here at 450. Kind of blurry. There you go, 450. Open that bad boy up. Grab my bananas. I'll slot them in here and make sure, I said 10 minutes or so, but it's kind of iffy depending on how your oven is heating. So just make sure you keep an eye on them. Once they get brown and get a nice Maillardization on them, a crispiness, caramelization, then they should be ready. Pull them, but yeah, don't walk away and take a shower or something. Keep an eye on them until they look roasted. And they should be good. Alright, check back in when they're roasted. So I just pulled my bananas out of the oven. It's been actually about 20 minutes. But here is what they look like for reference. They're just slightly browned. They're not too brown. They've just started to caramelize on the top and start to prune up a little bit. And I want to keep them a little less brown because I like that fresh banana taste. But you can go darker, you can go lighter. You can feel that they're very mushy, which is a good sign. So, yes, here's our bananas. Now that our bananas are roasted, we're going to start with our next process, which is to gather all of our dry ingredients. So for this recipe, we are going to be using 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So I did my 1 cup out, and I'm going to be extra. You don't have to be, but it always helps with baked goods to sieve your flour and such. So I'm going to take my 1 cup of flour, put it through this fine mesh chinois. Here's my 1/2 cup. So there's our flour. Wiggle like so. And we're going to be using
baking soda. We're going to be using 1 1/4 teaspoon. Baking soda is 1 teaspoon. There. I'll just go ahead and get my 4th teaspoon out as well. Cool. And last but not least, we're going to be using 3/4 tablespoon or teaspoon, excuse me, of salt. So with that is all of our dry ingredients. Hopefully. Cool. And last but not least, I have to show it off. My mini whisk. How do you think about that? Usually I'd use a regular whisk, but I've got the mini whisk, and how could you resist? Cool. That should be good with that. And next we will combine our wet ingredients. Alright, let's do that. We are going to combine our wet ingredients plus our brown sugar. So what I'll start off with is a cup of packed brown sugar. Bonk. Okay, and then we're going to use a 1/3 cup of mascarpone cheese. And then we are going to add a 1/4 cup of butter, which is just a 1/2 of a stick. Make sure it's room temp. Major key, because we were going to whip this until it is light and fluffy. Alright everyone, now that we've been going for about 4 minutes now and our consistency is light and fluffy, our recipe calls for 2 eggs, so we're going to add them in 1 at a time. So we've got 1. Since our egg is well incorporated, we're going to add our 2nd. Alright, beautiful. Look at our consistency here. I'm liking it. So, last but not least, we cannot forget about our star of the show. We're going to add about a 1/3 of the bananas in here at a time. Alright, and last but not least, we will add our last 1/3. So I probably underworked mine because I enjoy a more chunkier batter, more chunkier bananas, I mean. So if you want, you can dip a little fork in here and try it, and yeah. Alright, so now that we've got our wet batter, we're going to take our dry. We're going to incrementally add it in, so I'll be adding in about roughly a 1/3 of my dry batter at a time. That should be our banana bread batter. So our next step is going to be putting it into a pan for baking. All right, everybody, we have got our 2 bread pans we're going to be using. I am just going to take a little bit of, usually I'd use vegetable oil spray, but I do not have any. I've got coconut oil spray, so that's what I'll be doing. You don't need a lot at all. So I'm just going to go a couple squirts, get the sides. That should be good. I got my cast iron guy that I got from my boy Chum Lee. Big shout out Chum Lee. We will take a little bit of the batter, put it in my cast iron guy first. Get some of this oil that's in here. You can just spray your spoon down. Okay. Purpose of banging it like you're doing. It's not to wake your parents up, but it is to get out air bubbles. As we can see, it's filled up even enough. I'll take my thumb that is clean, scrape off any of this excess on the sides just to clean it up a tad. Voila. Voila. Get that off. Alright, this is our completed loaf. So we're going to put this in the oven at 300 degrees for about 1 hour. Just keep an eye on it. Check in on it every 15 minutes just to track your progress. Alright y'all, while our banana bread is cooking, we are going to make a caramel sauce for a garnish. So to start off our sauce, we are going to be using a 1/4 cup of milk. Okay, I've got my 1/4 cup of almond milk in. About a cup of packed brown sugar. We'll add it in. Wonderful. Stick. In. So simple as that. We're going to bring our ingredients to a gentle boil, and then we'll take it off the heat once it's thick. So here's our mixture right before all of our butter has melted. I forgot to mention I'm going to make it a sea salt caramel, so I'm going to put about a tablespoon in. Alright y'all, so here is our caramel mixture. It's starting to get thick, and it is to the consistency that I like, especially once it cools down, because we're going to make a garnish with it, so we don't really want it to get too thick. Alright everybody, so last but not least, in my pan right here, I have got about 3 or 4 tablespoons of this Wild Turkey American Honey bourbon. We're going to be making a compound butter. So in this Tupperware, I have got about 3 tablespoons of butter. We're going to be combining it with salt, sea salt, brown sugar, vanilla extract, and we're going to simmer off this bourbon to cook the alcohol out. We want to reduce about by half. So I'm going to put it back on the fire. And once that's reduced, I will show you guys how we're going to put together this butter. I've just taken the banana bread out of its loaf pan, and let me tell you, it's looking beautiful. Take a look. Hallelujah. Look at that, boy. It's nice and light and airy. It's pretty moist, as you like. But yeah, it's turned out pretty well. I am cooking off this bourbon right now. Like I said, we're going to start the compound butter, our last step, soon. Our honey bourbon mixture has gotten down to about half how we like it. So we are going to go ahead and add it to our butter. Wonderful. And then we're going to take a teaspoon of vanilla extract, imitation. Pretty good. And then we will add a couple pinches of salt. Perfect. Okay. We are going to take a beater and beat it all. And already it is combined, so you can take a little taste. That's super good. Yeah, that's all we need. So I'm gonna put it back into the fridge to let it harden up a little bit, so that way when it's ready to plate, we can make this thing called a quenelle. Beautiful. It is time to plate up. We have got about a inch thick slice here. We're gonna serve it on a bias. I'm using a square plate. What we're gonna do with this butter is called a quenelle. So what we wanna do is I'm taking this spoon. We always need to keep it clean and keep it hot. So I am running some super, super hot water on my sink. And I'll take this, you kind of just scoop it up. You want to use your spoon, scoop it, and we want to make like a football shape. So periodically clean your spoon so it stays clean and it stays hot. You want to keep going back and forth. So I'll take more butter here. You kind of want to shape into a football shape. You can move it around. Now we'll come back to the butter. Take it back into this little nice round football shape, like so. You see that? So get it out, you'll see it a little better. So I'm going to take it out and place it on top of my banana bread. I have poured our caramel into this squeeze jar. You can use a plastic bag. If you put it into a plastic baggie, then cut the tip off. It's like a piping bag, but I'm just going to be using this guy. So I will just simply, I'll simply just pour over like this. Wonderful, get a little extra on the side. And then these walnuts that have been sitting here this whole video, I'll take a couple, I'll lean them against here. I'm gonna go 3s. So I'm gonna put some in the corners here. I'll go adjacent corners, same design. Oop, that guy fell. That's okay. Put it like this. I'll put a couple leaning up against the cornel of compound butter. Like so. Beautiful. I'll scatter a couple around. And then I'm actually gonna take the rest of these. I'm gonna crush them up in my hand. I sprinkle them around the top of the dish. Beautiful. That's looking good. And lastly, you probably won't do this, but I'm gonna do this. I have got some edible flowers that I steamed. So I'm just going to put them like so. This one's not as colorful. So I'm gonna rest it right here. We've got a bright floret right here. So I'm gonna put that on top. Got some nice blue flowers here. We can scatter like we did with the walnuts. All right, everybody, that completes our dish. Voila.
All right, everybody, so we're back. I accidentally took a couple bites because I was way too excited. It looked way too good. But yeah, this is our final product. We've got our compound butter, our banana bread, caramel drizzle, we've got walnuts and edible flowers. If you follow the steps in the video, you should be able to make it. It's not too hard, and it looks pretty nice. It should be a crowd pleaser. I'm gonna try a bite of it. I'm gonna go through the components. Just doing it right now. I've got a bite with walnut, which is gonna fall off, caramel, our compound butter, and our banana bread. So our compound butter, again, is that honey bourbon, sea salt, and vanilla, which the bitterness of the bourbon mixes really well with the sweetness of the caramel and the sweetness of the banana bread, and it just gives it that it's just a nice umami sort of taste, and it looks nice. Banana bread is just a classic all around. It mixes well with the sea salt caramel. And yeah, it could be a very impressive dish if you nail it right. So hopefully if you follow these steps, yours will turn out sort of like this. Not that mine's perfect in any way, of course, but it's decent. It's very good since we whipped that butter. It's not dense. It's kind of like a whipped cream sort of texture. So it's very nice with the light airiness of the banana bread. So yeah, it all works quite well together. I'm gonna finish the rest of this off screen, but I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial video. I'm gonna make a couple, so I've got them lined up for you guys. But if you like them, drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, share. All this is much appreciated. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much. All right, I'll end it there.